Well, I just came short of organizing every hair on my head. He's the amazing Dr. Gray. J. Lamar Gray is number one. This is Rick Dees, member FDIC.
This is the world famous Strictly Business Show with Dr. J, the sexiest business show in the world with all the business news and moves you really need. StrictlyDocTRJ.com's website. Check it out and check out past shows. Like this one will be a past show soon. I'm here with career trainer and author of the book, How to Find Work for the Rest of Your Life, Dr. Chaz Austin, good friend of mine, fellow Pepperdine University alum. So he got loans too, like me. But well worth it. Well worth it.
Yes.
So we were talking about the gig economy and how to find work because everybody want to know how to find work. And this is beyond, interview tricks, how to land the job in the interview. We're talking about how to land several jobs. And 2025 is around the corner, Dr. Chaz. So let's talk about people who said, I'm going to make a change in 2025. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to get myself out there more. What's the first step? Is it a spiritual awakening? Is it a practical step? What is it?
You find someone who can guide you. So I'm not going to make a pitch just for me, like I'm the only one who can do this. But people can, as a first step, go to LinkedIn, Dr. Chaz Austin, ChazAustin, Z like in zebra. I have a ton of resources there. They can access my work through my books, through my live courses, through my LinkedIn learning courses. I've got a TEDx talk, lots of things. So that's a step they can take and then move from there, whether it's to me or someone else. It's time. At a certain point, everybody goes, you know what? I'm going this route. I'm going to stop working for a company that doesn't treat me well, that I've been loyal to and isn't loyal to me, whether I expect to get fired or laid off, or it's going to happen imminently, or it already happened. I have to do something else. And they just decide to become entrepreneurial. It's a big leap for a lot of people because they've never been trained that way. I'm not entrepreneurial myself. Yeah. But I backed into it because I'm addicted to eating. And I'm too,
You like heat.
I'm too old and too expensive at this point. I'm not going to put up with this nonsense. So I backed into being entrepreneurial and opening my own shop and finding clients. And it's a different way to think and a different way to behave. And it takes a while to get there. You may never love it, but it's the way forward so that you never have to worry about getting laid off or coming home and saying to your spouse, I just lost my job and we have no income. I don't know what to do. This way, with my model, there's always money coming in. No one can ever fire you.
Okay, let's talk turkey, Dr. Chaz. Okay, you got somebody who's about to go to work because this show is in the morning. They are $50,000 a year stiff. They work out a cubicle. I mean, what's the first thing they should do? I mean, how do they look within themselves and say, what do I have to offer? Because they got to offer something, right? They got to sell something people's buying, right?
Yes. Now, the first thing, let's say you're a client of mine. The first thing I say is, what do you want to do? And then the second thing is, can you monetize it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife and I are taking salsa dance lessons. Yes. Not monetizable. No one will ever pay me to salsa dance.
I'd pay you to salsa dance. I'd want to see that.
We need to talk about that. You need to zip up your wallet there. No, you wouldn't. That's a hobby. So we have to find something that you're interested in, and can you monetize it? Is that industry that you want to get into growing? Okay. And then we look at what specific things you have to offer. What's part of your skill set that people will pay for? Are you bilingual? Do you have a record of success that companies would look at or individuals would look at and say, oh, you did it for them. You could do it for me. Do you know software programs? What are you learning? What certificates do you have? What licenses? What degrees that are monetizable? So it's finding that
Hmm.
monetizable passion. And is it an industry that's growing? So we have to fit all that together. Then the next question is, who do you know in that field?
Who do you
And
know?
if you don't know people, then how do you get there? So how you get there is you start joining associations in the field and volunteering. That's a key word and a
Absolutely.
key concept. No one
Yes.
turns down free labor. Yeah. So if I
No.
join an association, I'm new to the field. I'd like to learn about it. I think there's a fit here. I may need another degree or a certificate or something, but this is the new field I want to work in. I'd like to volunteer in your association in some capacity. Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. We'll
Yes.
take you. Yeah.
Yes.
Then you are now working side by side with other people in the industry. Those are your contacts. Yes. These are the people who you are now auditioning with. Yes. And they'll get to see you in this volunteer situation, that you're a hard worker, that you are a great team player, that you have a great attitude and great ideas. That's exactly the qualities they need when a job comes up. And they can come to you and say, we've worked together for a few months and I really like your attitude. A friend of mine has an opening in her company. I think you'd be a good fit. Would you like me to introduce you? Because the traditional way of resumes, that doesn't work anymore. People
No.
may have to legally collect resumes and interview people, but they're going to hire who they know and trust. Yes, so the side door is those associations and volunteering, where you start developing relationships with the people who now know you, trust you, and will hire you. And someone else may be better qualified, but they're never getting in the door, because if I'm hiring, if I'm the person in the hiring situation, I am not going to hire a stranger. I don't care how well you did in the interview. I'm going to go with who I know. Whether they're the best person for the job is not relevant. What matters is, are they good enough? Sometimes good enough is good enough. And I'll go with someone I trust who can do the work rather than a stranger. And because then I'm in trouble. If I bring them in and they don't work out, and they've been a good actor in the meeting, my boss comes down on my head and says, "How could you hire this idiot? What's wrong with you?" I don't want that. I'm not taking the risk. I'm going with someone I know, who I've worked with in the association on a volunteer basis. And we've had coffee and we've had lunch and we've had beers. And I like this person. I trust them. I know they do a good job for me. You're hired. You start Monday. End of story.
Okay. What about the people? Okay, and I'm assuming that it doesn't always have to be a work thing. Like if you're good at numbers. So I just brought some holiday cookies this yesterday from somebody who started cooking and baking, and it's the best cookies I ever had. Somebody gave me a sample, said try this, and I just ordered them. And so it could be something personal, right? It doesn't have to be always a degree or actual workplace skill set. If you bake muffins and you do a great job, that's okay? That's gigging, right?
That's fine. So you bake muffins and you bake cookies. Who's going to buy those in bulk? Yeah. Who do you need to know? And believe me, there's a cookie association that you can join.
Is that
There,
right?
there's a potato chip association, and there's a magazine for the potato chip industry. There's
Uh-huh.
associations in every industry, but you want to plug yourself into that industry and those people who can say, love your cookies. I know a company that would rebrand them. Yes,
Hmm.
they'll put their company name on it, and you can sell 10 million of them. That's who you want to know, because doing it retail ain't going to work. Okay. A dozen cookies here, a dozen cookies there. That's not a business. But supplying companies on a regular basis with your cookies in bulk, that's a business. And you need to plug into the people who can access those companies who would say, "We love your cookies. We're going to place an order for 1,000 dozen every month."
Well,
Okay.
I don't want her to do this. This person, the cookies, the quality would go down because they were so good. So I want her to stay small and feed me all the delicious cookies she has.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
Dr. Chad, yeah, she can start with me in a year. Let me get tired of her cookies for a year, then she can move on to bigger and better things.
fair
All
enough.
right. So, Dr. Chad, in our last couple of minutes, let's talk about this. Let's talk about generations here, because you got younger people out there who say, listen, I don't have the experience to deal with this gig economy. Nobody's going to hire me because I just got into the workplace, degrees or not. Then you got the older generation that says, I have the experience, I have the work ethic, but it's a young man, young woman's gang. What do you tell, not gang, game? What do you tell these two generational people about this gig economy going in 2025?
I've worked with thousands of people literally in my career. No one has the same brand. And you have to start looking at yourself in terms of what are your strengths? What do you have to offer? If you're young, okay, you offer enthusiasm, you offer long hours for low pay and lots of Red Bull. And they'll exploit you for a while, but you'll get your foot in the door. They want that from young people. If you're an older person, what you offer is your experience, and the fact that you can herd the kittens, because these young people, they don't quite know what they're doing. They need a gray hair, so to speak, to manage them. And you could bring that to the table. So you have to look, I have to look at everyone's individual strength. And some of it is age related. But
Yeah.
you don't have to despair. If you're young, you have certain advantages. If you're older, you have certain advantages. You just have to find the market that would be receptive to what it is you offer as your brand.
He is career trainer and author of the book, How to Find Work for the Rest of Your Life, to the grave. And if you don't want to do that, you might as well give it up and pack it up. Dr. Chaz Austin, it's going to be a great 2025 because I'm going to have you back on the show on a regular basis. Where can people find your book?
Amazon, and the paperback is only $15, and if you prefer ebook, it's $10. So it's not a big investment, and the reviews so far have been phenomenal. All 5-star reviews. People love it, say it's really useful. So, if you're interested, pick it up.
And a great stocking stuffer this holiday season. Thank you, Dr. Chaz. You've got the world famous Strictly Business Show with me, Dr. J, the sexiest business show in the world on New HD Radio.